There's a secret the Church has guarded for decades, a secret about the month of September, a secret about Padre Pio. And today, you'll uncover why thousands across the globe begin a specific novena this month. It's not coincidence. It's not superstition. It's something far deeper. If you're here now, it's no accident. Perhaps your life needs protection. Perhaps you feel dark forces closing in. Or maybe you simply seek a stronger connection with the divine. What I'm about to reveal could completely change your understanding of spiritual protection. Padre Pio wasn't an ordinary saint. He carried something few understood. The stigmata on his hands were merely the visible part of a far greater mystery. And this mystery holds a special connection to September, a connection that can transform your life into a spiritual stronghold. Have you ever felt spiritually attacked? Like nothing was going right, obstacles appearing out of nowhere, a heavy shadow hanging over your days? I know that feeling. It's like an invisible darkness following you, like battling something unseen, untouchable. Padre Pio understood this battle better than anyone. He fought spiritual warfare nightly, literally. Witnesses reported hearing him. Struggling in his room, furniture being thrown, cries, but when they entered, they found only Padre Pio, wounded, sweating as if he'd fought an invisible war. And he won that war, not just for himself, but he created a shield, protecting all who approach him with true faith, a shield that activates especially during his novenas, primarily the September Novena. Why September? The answer will surprise you. September was the month Padre Pio received his most intense mystical experiences. It was when the veil between heaven and earth thinned around him. The stigmata, which he bore for 50 years, first appeared in September, specifically on the 20th of September, 1918. But there's something even more extraordinary. Padre Pio revealed in private letters that September was the month he felt closest to the angels. It was when his prayers held a different power, a potency he himself described as supernatural. Imagine for a moment a man who spoke face to face with angels, a man who healed incurable diseases with a touch, a man who could be in two places at once. This man said September was special. Don't you think it's worth paying attention? The Novena I'm going to teach you isn't just a prayer repeated 9 times. It's a protective ritual, a process of spiritual sealing, creating an invisible barrier around you. A barrier Padre Pio personally tested during decades of spiritual attacks. You need to understand something fundamental. Padre Pio wasn't just a holy man. He was a spiritual warrior. And like any experienced warrior, he developed protective strategies that worked, strategies he shared with those he trusted. This novena is one of those strategies. But before revealing how to perform it, you need to understand what truly happens when you begin this process. It's not just a beautiful prayer, it's a powerful invocation, a direct plea for Padre Pio to intercede for you in a special way. During the 9 days of the novena, something extraordinary happens in the spiritual world. Padre Pio, now in God's presence, turns his attention to you, not vaguely or distantly, personally and directly, as if he were at your side, protecting every step you take. Sound impossible? Let me tell you something few know. There are documented accounts of people who, during the September novena to Padre Pio, reported vivid dreams of him. Dreams where he appeared, dressed as a monk, walking beside them, whispering words of protection. Upon waking, these people felt an inexplicable peace, as if an invisible armor had been placed upon them. Maria, a 52-year-old woman, was going through a terrible time. Problems at work, family conflicts, illnesses doctors couldn't explain. She felt pursued by bad luck. It was then a friend told her about the September Novena to Padre Pio. Maria was skeptical. She didn't believe in these things much. But she was so desperate, she decided to try. On the third day of the novena, something changed. The problems didn't magically disappear, but she began to feel a different inner strength, as if she were no longer alone in the battle. On the seventh day, Maria had a dream. Padre Pio was beside her, walking in a garden. He didn't speak. He just put his hand on her shoulder, a warm, comforting hand. Maria awoke with tears in her eyes and a deep certainty that she was protected. In the following months, Maria's life completely transformed. Not because everything became easy, but because she had developed a spiritual resilience she didn't have before. It was as if she had an invisible safety net preventing her from falling into emotional abysses. This is the real power of the September Novena. It's not magic. It's not a trick. It's spiritual technology developed by one of history's greatest mystics. But you need to know how to do it correctly, because there's a specific way, a precise ritual that activates this protection, and there are mistakes that can completely negate the process. The first mistake people make is treating the novena like a wish list, as if Padre Pio were a genie ready to grant any whim. That's not how it works. The protection novena has a specific purpose, to create a spiritual shield around you. The second mistake is performing the novena without inner preparation. You can't approach Padre Pio carrying resentment, hatred, or ill will and expect protection. It's like trying to enter a fortress with dirty hands. First, you must purify yourself. The third mistake is giving up before the 9th day. The novena works as a cumulative process. Each day adds a layer of protection. Stopping halfway is like building a wall halfway. It won't protect you from anything. Now, I'll reveal the correct method, the method Padre Pio would approve, the method that really works. The novena should always begin on the 20th. Why? Because it was on the 20th of September that Padre Pio received the stigmata. It's a date of special spiritual power for him. If you can't start on the 20th, begin on a day that is a multiple of 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. These are days of spiritual strength. You need a specific place to perform the novena. It can't be just anywhere. It must be a space you can keep clean and quiet for 9 days. A small table works perfectly. On this table, you'll place a picture of Padre Pio. It doesn't need to be large or expensive. It just needs to be clean and well-positioned. Next to the image, a white candle, always white, never colored. The candle represents the light of your faith piercing the spiritual darkness. You will light this candle before each prayer and extinguish it afterward. For the 9 days, always use the same candle. If it burns out, replace it with another white one. Now comes the most important part, the prayer. It's not just any prayer. It's a specific invocation that connects you directly with Padre Pio's protection. I will teach you exactly what to say, word for word. But first, you need to understand the correct mental state for this prayer. It's not simply reciting words. It's opening your heart completely. It's placing yourself in a position of genuine humility before the sacred. It's as if you were talking to a powerful friend who can really help you. Take 3 deep breaths before you begin. Feel your breath calming. Feel your heart beating slower. Now look at the image of Padre Pio and imagine that he is really there, listening to you, because he is. The distance between heaven and earth is much smaller than we imagine. The prayer always begins the same way. Padre Pio, beloved saint of the stigmata, I come to you today, seeking your powerful protection. Pause after this phrase. Let the words echo in the silence. Feel the weight of what you've just said. Continue. You who fought against the dark forces and triumphed, you who bore the wounds of Christ on your own body, you who know the battles we fight in this world, I ask that you extend your mantle of protection over me. Pause again. Truly visualize an invisible mantle descending upon you. A heavy, warm, protective mantle, as if Padre Pio were covering you with his own spiritual protection. Now comes the most personal part of the prayer. Here you will speak specifically about what you need protection from. Be specific. If it's financial problems, say, protect my finances from all ill intent. If it's health problems, say, protect my body and mind from all sickness. If it's family problems, say, protect my family from all discord and separation. The more specific you are, the more targeted the protection will be. Padre Pio doesn't work with generalities. He acts with surgical precision in the areas where you need it most. After the specific requests, always end with, Padre Pio, may your presence be a wall around me. May nothing evil touch me. May your protection be my shield every day of my life. Amen. This is the basic prayer. But there's a secret that immensely enhances its efficacy, a secret that few know. After finishing the official prayer, close your eyes and remain silent for 2 minutes. Just listen. Listen with your heart, not with your ears. During these 2 minutes of silence, many people report extraordinary sensations. Some feel a warm presence nearby. Others perceive a scent of roses appearing out of nowhere. Others simply feel a deep peace taking over their chest. Don't force anything. Don't try to create these sensations. Just be open to receiving them if they come. Padre Pio manifests himself in different ways to each person. For some, it's through dreams. For others, through signs during the day. For still others, through a sharper intuition that protects them from danger. The important thing is to maintain faith and consistency. Do the novena every day at the same time, in the same place, with the same inner disposition. Repetition creates an increasingly strong channel of communication between you and Padre Pio. During the 9 days of the novena, pay attention to the signs. Padre Pio is known to communicate through small, everyday miracles, a bill that arrives with a lower than expected amount, a health problem that mysteriously resolves itself, a person who appears in your life at the exact moment you need help. These are not coincidences. They are signs that the protection is working, that the spiritual shield is forming around you, that Padre Pio heard your prayer and is acting in your favor. But remember, Padre Pio's protection is not passive. It requires your participation. You can't do the novena and then continue to put yourself in dangerous situations expecting nothing bad to happen. Spiritual protection works in conjunction with human prudence. If you feel that someone is sending negative energy your way, in addition to the novena, cut contact with that person. If you are facing financial problems, in addition to spiritual protection, take practical steps to resolve the situation. Padre Pio protects those who protect themselves. There's also a very important detail about the end of the novena. On the 9th day, after saying the regular prayer, you must add a special thank you. Even if you haven't yet seen concrete results, thank him for the protection that is already being woven around you. Gratitude activates the protection definitively. It's as if it were the final seal on the process. Without genuine gratitude, the novena is incomplete. Padre Pio valued gratitude immensely. He said that a grateful heart is always a protected heart, but the true September novena has yet another secret, a secret that exponentially multiplies its efficacy. It's something that Padre Pio did personally and that few know, something that transforms a simple prayer into a ritual of real power. This secret is related to the power of numbers. Did you know that Padre Pio had a special relationship with certain numerical sequences, that he used hidden mathematical codes in his prayers, that there is a precise formula to enhance the spiritual connection with him? I'm talking about something that goes far beyond the basic prayer. I'm talking about an advanced spiritual technology that Padre Pio developed over decades of mystical experience. A technology that can create such powerful protection around you that you literally become untouchable to negative forces. But this is sensitive information, information that needs to be shared responsibly. Because when you apply this knowledge, you are not just protecting yourself, you are entering a different spiritual dimension, a dimension where Padre Pio acts with full power. Are you ready to know this secret? Padre Pio discovered that certain numerical sequences dramatically amplified the power of prayers. It wasn't superstition, it was pure spiritual science. For years he observed that when he repeated certain invocations in specific multiples, the results were extraordinary. The most powerful number for Padre Pio was 7, not the 9 of the traditional novena. 7. 7 was the number of divine perfection, 7 days of creation, 7 gifts of the Holy Spirit, 7 sacraments. For Padre Pio, 7 was the key that unlocked the gates of heaven. Here's the secret that only his closest collaborators knew. Within the 9-day novena, there's a sub-prayer that must be repeated 7 times. This septenary repetition creates such an intense spiritual vibration that it literally opens a direct channel to Padre Pio. I'll teach you this sub-prayer. But first, you need to understand that this is no game. When you invoke Padre Pio 7 times in a row, using the correct words, you're making a call he doesn't ignore. It's as if you're pushing a spiritual emergency button that resonates directly in his heart. The sub-prayer is this: Padre Pio, come to my aid. Just that, but repeated 7 consecutive times in a low voice, staring intently at his image. Between each repetition, pause for 3 seconds. 3 seconds for the previous words to settle in the spiritual universe before the next ones are uttered. 7 times, always 7, never 6, never 8. 7 is the number that awakens Padre Pio's full attention. It's as if you're ringing a special bell that only he can hear. But there's another level to this spiritual technology. A level that Padre Pio reserved only for situations of extreme need, for moments when someone was truly in grave spiritual danger. It's what he called the emergency invocation. When Padre Pio sensed that someone was under a severe spiritual attack, he taught a specific sequence. A sequence that combines the novena, the septenary repetition, and a third layer, the mystical rosary. The mystical rosary isn't the common rosary you know. It's a concentrated, powerful version that Padre Pio used in the most difficult cases. It works like this. During each of the 9 days of the novena, after the main prayer and the septenary repetition, you pray 3 special Hail Marys. But these aren't ordinary Hail Marys. They're Hail Marys with a specific addition. After, pray for us sinners now and at the hour of our death, you add, and protect us with the power of Padre Pio. 3 times. 1 to protect your past, 1 to protect your present, 1 to protect your future. This combination, 9-day novena, septenary invocation, mystical rosary, creates what Padre Pio called triple protection. It's as if you're enveloped by 3 layers of spiritual shield. A protection so strong that not even the most intense spiritual attacks can penetrate. I often say that this isn't a prayer for beginners. It's a prayer for those truly engaged in spiritual warfare, for those who feel they're being attacked by forces they don't understand. for those who need maximum protection. And when you apply this triple protection, extraordinary things begin to happen. Let me tell you about Roberto. Roberto was a 45-year-old businessman going through the worst period of his life. His company was on the verge of bankruptcy. His marriage was shattered. His children no longer spoke to him. Worse still, he began having terrible nightmares every night. Nightmares where he felt something trying to suffocate him. Roberto wasn't a religious person, but he was so desperate that he accepted his aunt's suggestion to seek spiritual help. That's when she told him about Padre Pio's triple protection. Roberto began the Novena on the 20th of September. He followed exactly the protocol I've taught you. Complete novena, septenary invocation, mystical rosary. In the first few days, nothing changed. The nightmares continued. The problems persisted. But on the 5th day, something happened. Roberto woke up in the morning with a strange feeling, as if he had slept protected all night. The nightmares had stopped, not gradually, suddenly, as if an invisible barrier had been erected around his bed. On the 7th day, Roberto received an unexpected call. An investor who had disappeared months ago wanted to resume negotiations. Out of the blue, no explanation. As if something had touched his heart and made him remember Roberto. On the 9th day, the last day of the novena, Roberto's wife called. For the first time in months, she wanted to talk. Not to fight, to talk for real, to try to rebuild what had been destroyed. Coincidences. Roberto thought so at first, but in the following months, his life completely transformed. Not only were the problems solved, Roberto developed a sharp intuition that protected him from making wrong decisions. It was as if Padre Pio was whispering advice in his ear. Today, 5 years later, Roberto maintains a daily ritual of gratitude to Padre Pio. Every morning, before leaving home, he performs the septenary invocation, not because he needs to, but because he knows he's protected, and he wants to keep that protection active. This is the real power of triple protection. It doesn't just solve specific problems. It creates a permanent transformation in your relationship with the spiritual world. You begin to live at a different frequency. A frequency where protection is constant, but you need to understand that this protection comes with responsibilities. When Padre Pio extends his protection to someone, he expects that person to live according to certain principles. You don't have to be a saint, but you need to be integral. Padre Pio's protection doesn't work for those who consciously live in wickedness. It doesn't work for those who intentionally harm others. It doesn't work for those who use their faith only for self-benefit without thinking of others. Padre Pio protected, but he also demanded honesty, he demanded charity, he demanded that the protected person become a channel of good in the world, not out of obligation, but out of natural gratitude. When you receive Padre Pio's protection, you automatically want to be a better person. It's impossible to receive so much love and spiritual protection and continue to be selfish. It's as if the protection itself is gradually purifying your heart. There's one last secret about the September Novena that I need to share. A secret that Padre Pio revealed only in the last years of his life. It has to do with what happens after the novena ends. Most people do the novena and that's it. They stop. They think the work is done. But Padre Pio taught that the 9th day isn't the end. It's the beginning of a new phase. It's when the protection truly consolidates. After the novena, you enter what Padre Pio called the consolidation period. 21 additional days, where you maintain a daily connection with him, but in a simpler way. Just the 7-fold invocation, 7 times a day. Padre Pio, come to my aid. These 21 days serve to make the protection permanent, to fully integrate it into your life so that you no longer need to ask for protection. It's simply there, like a second spiritual skin. It's like learning to ride a bike. At first, you need to concentrate on every movement. After a while, riding becomes automatic. The same is true of Padre Pio's protection. After the 21 days of consolidation, it becomes automatic. But the most extraordinary thing comes afterward. After you complete the entire process, 9 days of novena plus 21 days of consolidation, you enter a special category. You become what Padre Pio called a permanently protected individual. A permanently protected individual is someone who has developed such a strong connection with Padre Pio that the protection renews automatically. You no longer need to do novenas to be protected. The protection simply becomes part of who you are. Of course, you can continue doing novenas. In fact, it's recommended to do at least one a year, always in September, but not out of necessity, out of gratitude, and to further strengthen the connection. When you become permanently protected, other people begin to notice something different about you, a peace they can't explain, an inner security that shines through, an invisible protection that people intuitively feel. And here's something fascinating. Padre Pio's permanently protected individuals tend to attract one another. It's as if there's a special frequency only they tune into. Natural groups of people form who share this special protection. These groups aren't formally organized. They have no leader or hierarchy. They simply happen. People protected by Padre Pio recognize each other. They help each other. They create invisible networks of support and collective protection. It's as if Padre Pio is building an army of light in the world, an army of protected people who in turn become channels of protection for others, a current of good that multiplies exponentially. But it all starts with a simple decision, the decision to do a novena, a serious, committed novena following the correct protocol. A novena that opens the doors to a transformation you can't even imagine is possible. The month of September is here. Padre Pio's special time is happening now. This is not a coincidence. You didn't stumble upon this knowledge by chance. It's a calling, an invitation to enter a dimension of protection that few experience. But I want to tell you something I discovered after years of studying the life and work of Padre Pio. He didn't choose September randomly for his most powerful manifestations. September has a profound cosmic significance. It's the month of the equinox. When day and night are of exactly equal length, it's a moment of perfect balance between light and darkness. Padre Pio, who fought epic battles against the forces of darkness, knew that this moment of cosmic equilibrium was when his intercession could be most effective. It's when the veil between the worlds becomes more permeable. It's when prayers more easily cross the barrier between heaven and earth. Therefore, September is not just Padre Pio's month. It's the month of maximum spiritual opportunity. It's when you can establish a connection with the divine that will last the rest of your life. It's when you can seal your existence with a protection that no negative force can break. You can choose to continue living as you do today, facing life's battles with your own strength alone. Or you can choose to accept the protection Padre Pio is offering, a tested protection, a proven protection. A protection that can change your life forever. But remember, this knowledge comes with responsibility. It's not to be kept selfishly, it's to be shared. Padre Pio wants everyone to have access to his protection. He makes no distinction between rich and poor, educated and simple, Catholic and non-Catholic. The only distinction Padre Pio makes is between those with genuine faith and those who only pretend to have it. He sees through any mask. He knows when someone is being sincere and when they are merely trying to use his protection for selfish purposes. If you are here now, if you have reached this point in our conversation, it's because Padre Pio has already identified something special in you, a sincerity of heart that attracted him, a genuine need for protection that touched his paternal heart. Now, the choice is yours. You can close this video and continue your normal life, or you can take the first step on a journey of spiritual protection that will transform not only your own life, but the lives of everyone around you. Padre Pio is waiting. He is always waiting, with infinite patience, with unconditional love, with a protection that can seal your life against any evil. The September Novena is more than a prayer. It's a portal to a life protected, guided, blessed by the constant presence of one of history's greatest saints. And perhaps, just perhaps, at the end of your 9 days of novena, you will understand something that few understand. That true protection doesn't come from outside. It springs from within, from the heart that opens to the sacred, from the heart that recognizes that it is not alone on this journey. Padre Pio doesn't just protect you from external dangers. He protects you from the greatest danger of all, spiritual loneliness, the feeling of being lost in a meaningless world, the hopelessness that corrodes the soul. When you complete your first serious novena to Padre Pio, you discover something revolutionary. You discover that you will never be alone again, that there will always be a powerful and loving presence at your side, a presence that knows your battles because it has fought even greater battles. And in this discovery, the true miracle happens. Not the magical resolution of all problems, but something much deeper. The transformation of your way of facing problems, the discovery of an inner strength you didn't even know existed. This is Padre Pio's real protection, not a shield that isolates you from the world, but an inner armor that allows you to face the world with renewed courage, with unshakable faith, with the absolute certainty that no matter what happens, you are protected by the love of God manifested through an extraordinary saint. And when you understand this, when this becomes part of your daily reality, you understand why September is special, why Padre Pio chose this month for his most powerful manifestations, why so many people around the world do their novenas right now. September isn't just a month on the calendar. It's sacred time, a time when the heavens open in a special way to receive our prayers, a time when Padre Pio walks closer to the earth, extending his mantle of protection over all who invoke him with sincere faith. His novena begins today, not tomorrow, not next week, today, because every day that passes without protection is a day lost. Every day you postpone this decision is a day you live unnecessarily vulnerable. Padre Pio is waiting for you to light that white candle. He's waiting for you to look upon his image with genuine faith. He's waiting for you to utter those words that open the doors of heavenly protection. Don't delay. September's time is limited. The opportunity is here, now, before you. An opportunity to seal your life with a protection that spans centuries. A protection that began over 100 years ago and continues active, powerful, transformative. Your protected life begins now. Your journey with Padre Pio begins today, and when it begins, you will understand why millions around the world place their trust in the intercession of this extraordinary saint. Because Padre Pio doesn't disappoint. He never disappointed, and he will never disappoint you. But before you begin your novena, I need to tell you about something that happened to me personally. Something that completely changed my perception of the power of Padre Pio's spiritual protection. 5 years ago, I was going through one of the most difficult periods of my life. Health problems no doctor could diagnose. financial problems that seemed insurmountable, relationships disintegrating one after another. I felt like I was at the center of a never-ending storm. That's when a friend told me about the September Novena to Padre Pio. Initially, I was skeptical. As someone who always trusted logic more than faith, the idea of asking for protection from a saint who died decades ago seemed absurd, but I was desperate, and sometimes desperation takes us to places logic never would. I started the novena on the 20th of September. I followed the protocol exactly as I just taught you. In the first few days, nothing happened. I remained skeptical, but I maintained discipline. On the fourth day, something strange occurred. I was driving to work when, out of nowhere, I felt an irresistible urge to change routes. For no apparent reason, I took a different road. I later discovered there had been a serious accident on my usual route, precisely at the time I would have been passing through. Coincidence? I thought so at the time. But on the sixth day, something even stranger happened. I received a call from an unknown number. It was someone offering exactly the job opportunity I needed. Not just any job, but specifically something that perfectly matched my skills and financial needs. The person who called said they had found my contact in a strange way, that they didn't normally call random numbers, but that they had felt a strong intuition to reach out to me. On the 8th day of the novena, the doctor called with the results of tests I'd requested months before. The symptoms that had plagued me for over a year had simply vanished. No medical explanation, no specific treatment, they simply disappeared. On the 9th and final day, I received a message from someone I had argued with years before. The person wanted to reconcile, saying they had thought a lot about me and felt the need to resolve our disagreements. When I finished the novena, I was no longer the same. Not just because the external problems had been resolved, but because something had fundamentally changed within me. It was as if a film of fear that had covered my life had been removed, as if I had been given a second chance to live. Since then, I've done the September novena every year, not because I need to solve specific problems, but because I recognize that this protection saved my life in a way I couldn't even comprehend at the time. And that's why I'm here, sharing this knowledge with you. Because I know, from personal experience, that this protection is real, that Padre Pio is truly attentive to those who seek him with sincerity. That September is truly a time of miracles for those who have the courage to believe. Your story could be next. Your transformation could be just 9 days away. Your protection could begin today if you have the courage to light that white candle and utter those simple but powerful words. Padre Pio, beloved saint of the stigmata, I come to you today seeking your powerful protection. The rest, you can leave to him. Padre Pio knows exactly what you need, and he never fails to care for those who truly trust in him.